Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez here show in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment, the boxing capital of the world. And we got the school programs, a great program. Today we have a special guest by the name of Troy Martinez, who's in charge of the Dads in School program. It's a program that helps the community with a lot of kids that are having difficulties. And I think that the parents have to know what the heck is really going on with the kids in school, what's going on in the streets, whatnot. So the Dads in School program is really so important. Troy, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you, Joe. Longtime friend. It's so good to see you and so excited to be on your show today.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you on the show because these type of shows is what I like to give out there to our community so they can see what we're doing out there, what you're doing, your program. How long has Dads in School program been about?
So our Dads in School program just this last year officially launched into 53 separate schools. For almost 15 years, we've been partnering with the school district. The school district has 300,000 students and 40,000 staff. So we've been partnering with them on other areas, drug prevention, violence prevention, and even sex trafficking. But the last year, after the kids came back from COVID, we saw a huge spike in violence. And we started the Dads in School program to send men to, and you're going to love this, they wear referee jerseys so that they show that they're neutral, they're highly visible, and they're there to keep the peace.
Now, you had a church back years back when I first met you. Are you still involved with the church?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a pastor. Me and my wife, Sandra, we pastor. We've been married 43 years. Okay. So as pastors, our job is to serve the community, and we serve everybody. But beyond the, daily church service on a Sunday, there's 6 other days that we're out in the community serving. Right. And so our nonprofit Dads in Schools, we see these young people from kindergarten to 12th grade, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
Now with the COVID and the period that we had, the pandemic, a lot of kids were out of school. Did that have a big effect in the community?
COVID absolutely had a big effect on the children and the parents and the teachers. So they were out of school over a year. They didn't see their friends. There was turmoil in our nation during that time. There was, wide-scale riots. There was food shortages. Parents were losing jobs. So it was traumatizing on a lot of levels. The other thing is many of the students were not used to being at home with their own families and their own parents 24 hours a day. So there was domestic issues in the family. Right. So the children came back, the young adults, because some of these high school students are 16, 17, and even turning 18. So they're basically young adults, and they came back very traumatized, some angry, and they brought that back into the school.
Yeah, now, that program is a program that, you've been helping out so many people in the community for so many years. And I know that what you've been doing with the church, I know you had a program there where the kids come there after school and whatnot. Tell us a little bit about that program.
So one of the things that our church has done, our nonprofit has done, is we partnered with our governor. We partnered with our Nevada Attorney General. We partnered with our law enforcement, with our mayor, Carolyn Goodman, county commissioners, U.S. senators, congressmen. We believe everyone needs to get involved. And, the work I've seen you do and others, you're out there in the community. That's what we do. We're out there in the community. In 2014, we helped get a law passed and brought a statewide awareness that sex trafficking is a crime. Prior to that, Nevada was the last state to make sex trafficking a crime. And many young girls from our own high schools were being pulled into the illegal sex industry. Well, we've stopped that, and we've allowed the parents to understand that they need to protect their children, and we give tools for the teachers and the students how to protect themselves.
Now, what's happening now with the illegal immigrants coming across the border, is that having an effect here in Las Vegas?
So, our school district is very diverse. Almost 50% of our school district is Latino. So that's almost 150,000 students. And in saying that, many of the families have moved here recently from other cities, even other countries, and they're assimilating into our school district. So Vegas truly is a melting pot. Coming back from COVID, migrating into the United States, moving from Los Angeles or Chicago, and all of a sudden you're in the Clark County School District. Many of the violent issues are actually social norms in Central America, social norms in Mexico where the cartels hold control, social norms in South Chicago, social norms in East Los Angeles. They're used to violence. So bringing that into the school has affected everyone, including the teachers. We saw last year, tragically, an attempted murder on a female teacher.
What are the results of your program now on campus, when you're on campus?
So we started with 53 schools this year, and we get men to sign up. So we had over 2,000 men sign up from the community. They take an FBI background check, they get their uniform, they get some training, and then we schedule them to go into the school of their choice in their own neighborhood and begin to serve. We call it prevention through presence. One of the most significant things that we've seen, having a male role model wearing the referee jersey,
right.
The teachers tell us they feel safer knowing there's a man right there compared to last year when a teacher was assaulted
right.
and strangled, and no one was in the hallway to help her. No one was within, yelling distance. Now there's men there. Additionally, a lot of these kids, most children, they don't want to fight. They don't want violence. They feel safer when they see a grown man there. We've had instances where there was 2 large groups of students. They were gonna fight. There was gonna be a brawl. And the men stood in the middle. They didn't say a word. They don't touch the children. And just their presence, the fight never happened. That's the goal, to never see these children have to fight.
We got to start a boxing program there. They want to fight.
We need more job training.
Yeah.
We need more referrals. We need more men like yourself that are willing to make sure they have choices.
Yeah.
Other than violence, choices other than drugs. Our young girls, they should never choose to want to go into the sex industry.
Right, exactly. Well, you see so much of that going on and all over the country, especially, we got it pretty much under control here, but now with all this surge of immigrants coming into the country, they're looking at, they got these kids, underage kids working, and they shouldn't even be working, young 10-year-old, 11-year-old kid working midnight shifts, great job shifts. You hear so much going on out there, and the sex trafficking and everything. So that's what worries me, because when you're a parent and you have grandchildren and whatnot, you're concerned about all these things that are going on. And I'm glad, Troy, that you're doing what you're doing, because we need more people like you in the community. Now, if somebody wanted to reach out to you to get more information about your program, what's the website? We could put it on there, the website and the phone number.
So we made it really simple. It's dadsinschools.com. That's dads, plural, dadsinschools, plural, dadsinschools.com. You Google that, it pops up the website. You can sign up. You can apply for your background check. You can get your training, dadsinschools.com.
You see it at the bottom of your screen, so that we can follow up with that. Hopefully people will start reaching out and making contact with you. So that's why we have this show on every week, to bring people from all walks of life on the Joe Cortez Show, so that people can know what's really going on. A lot of people don't know about your program. So now hopefully some more people get to hear about it, know about what you're doing, the good work that you're doing. Now, you started as a pastor over 20 years ago?
I've been a pastor almost 40 years
40.
now, Joe, so it's been a long road.
Okay.
And so I have 11 grandchildren in the Clark County School District. We want my 11 grandchildren and the other 300,000 students to be safe, and the 40,000 staff. People don't realize there's
Right.
40,000 teachers, and we want their spouses to feel safe when they send their loved one to go teach.
Yeah, because not only have to go teach, but they also have children themselves. So they must really feel very, very attentive to your program, because they say, we have children as well. I mean, during the pandemic, I mean, it was very, very difficult for everybody. I mean, all these kids were home. They were not used to being home. All the anxiety, the anger, everything. Kids were not, they were hard to control. Because like you said before, earlier in the show, that they never experienced this. They were 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids locked in the house. They couldn't go anyplace. They couldn't hang out in the streets because everybody was catching the COVID. So it was very difficult. So that creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, you know. And
True.
that's why this program that you're doing now with the volunteers, the dads coming out to the school is very helpful. But we need more of that. Plus, you have other programs that they can have these kids to attend to learn more about what's going on.
Yeah, we're referring students to be part of the film industry because there's an awareness component. We're putting together public service announcements, these PSAs, documentaries, information. So, you know, this generation, they don't necessarily read, but you show them a TikTok video or a Facebook video, they pay attention to that. So we're putting those together, and students are helping us do that. So they're part of sending messaging to their peers to have a safe learning environment.
You know, that's good because, you know, with today's modern day technology, you know, that helps a lot because it has its pros and cons. Because, you know, a lot of bad things are on the internet that these kids pick up. You got a lot of predators out there that are making contact
True.
with these young folks out there, young men and young ladies.
Right.
But then on the other positive side is that they learn a lot about, you know, going to program and, you know, doing things the right way. And have people like yourself and your volunteer to talking about making life be a more positive life than to just doing the wrong thing, doing drugs and whatnot. You know, with what's going on today now, they approved marijuana in, I think, 21 states. And it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like you have your kid come home from school and your kid smells like weed, you know? You say to yourself, you know, this is not the environment you want. Your kids go to a park and they go playing and there's people smoking weed around there. You know, I'm not in favor of that because it's something that these kids are being brought up in a way where the faculties are not 100% because they're under the influence, you know? So that's what worries me a lot.
Yep, and we've noticed when you give young people other opportunities, they stay away from drugs. They stay away from alcohol. They end up doing something positive. They're hungry to do something good. There's talent there, and we just need to tap into that. You know about talent, Joe. That's one of your expertise. You've seen some of the best talent in the world where you've been a referee, and they just need an opportunity.
You know, me, I was born and raised in New York, Spanish Harlem, and there are a lot of young folks back there that went to drugs, alcohol, you know, and I got attached to boxing because of a fighter named Gaspar Ortega who moved to New York, and because of him, it was a blessing in disguise that he moved there. Because through him, my brother Mike and I got involved with the Golden Gloves, and that's where I ended up, you know, going the right track in life. I got involved with the Boys Clubs of New York, and I started boxing. I won my first Golden Glove championship when I was 16 years of age.
Wow.
And, you know, you're winning a championship like that with 15,000 fans in Madison Square Garden, and my brother as well. And then we did it 2 years in a row. Then won the Open Division. Then we took the Easterns and the Nationals championship. When I was 17 years of age, I already had a 43-2 record as an amateur, winning 6 championships. And you know what? That's back in the amateur days, but that got me started, kept me on the right track. That really helped me a lot. Today, I tell parents, if you don't want your kids to box, they don't have to box. Put them in any sport. You got basketball, football, soccer, baseball, you know, MMA, boxing. You got all kinds of sports. You know, get them involved with something because once they get involved with some kind of sport, the trainers there, you know, sometimes a lot of these kids come from single-parent homes like I did. And sometimes you need like a father image to kind of guide you. And the coaches, the trainers, they're there for that.
And
you know?
that's part of what Dads in Schools does.
Exactly.
Many of the young people, the only time they see a positive male role model is when they see our dads in school with their jerseys at the school. And some of them are interested in architecture, film, music, sports, but they need to be given the opportunity and they need to feel safe to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, I think getting volunteers, individuals that are watching, if you're one to really get involved, if you're a doctor, you're a movie director, your television shows, radio. I mean, come on and reach out to Troy Martinez at Dads for School program, because this is where you guys can be an influence for these young kids. You can either talk to them, come and talk to them in a group, or even volunteer sometime and help them with the different programs that they may not have, and you guys can bring it to the table so these kids can get more involved. But not, like I said, not only sports, but it could be anything. Some want to be lawyers, they want to be a doctor, they want to be a law enforcement, police, all this kind of programs. These individuals should reach out to Troy Martinez and check out his website again. At the bottom of your screen there, you'll see where you can reach Troy Martinez, and you got an email address there, and you have a phone number. You can reach out, and Troy Martinez will definitely help with our community like he's doing now. Now, what else is involved with the youth programs besides what you're doing at the schools and at the church?
So one of the things that we do is we also partner with law enforcement and the mayor's office to make sure that kids are safe on their way home from school.
Okay.
We know that statistically, crime goes up from the time school is released to the time the parent gets home from work. So we see, petty theft go up, car burglaries, other things that just shouldn't be happening. And so after school programming is really important. And one of the things that we want to make sure we do is partner with all of those community members that we can provide some very healthy environments for after school programs. And we're working on it now. We're launching a pilot film industry where they can come in and learn how to be a part of the film industry, give messaging. Again, this generation, they're not going to maybe read a book to get their message, but they will watch something that's on a video clip. It's film. That's really what it is.
And you have a lot of individuals they like to sing. A lot of kids, whether it's rap or whatever, as long as they're doing something to keep themselves occupied and doing the right thing. I mean, some of the individuals wish that they can do certain things, and they can because they don't have the money. Their parents don't have the money. But, they go to these programs there. You don't have to pay anything to be involved with these
free.
programs. It's all free.
Absolutely free.
And that's important that the individuals know that, because they say, gee, if I can do that without paying, I want to get involved. Some kids are afraid to even reach and call up to join a program, but they think they got to pay money. They don't have it. They're not working, and they're not at home. They live in poverty. It's kind of hard. And the way out for them is join one of your programs.
The parents are thanking us. The teachers will stop our volunteers and thank them for being there. Men can sign up in their own community. So you can think about this. This elementary school, the middle school, the day that the tragedy in Uvalde, Texas happened, where elementary school children were being slaughtered, we were on campus here at a local elementary school protecting that school. I saw the teachers weeping when they heard the news. Parents were afraid, but they did say this: they felt safe because we had men stationed all around their school protecting them.
But and I say not only around the school, I think they should be like in the community at different blocks, walking around. Because these kids, like you said, between the hours of 3 to maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night, they should be walking around or patrolling around the neighborhood where they can stand out with individuals walking down the street and they see it maybe. Do you have any patrol cars with any?
We don't have the patrol cars, but what we do is we have the men themselves that live there. And when you serve in your own community, you run into those kids and their parents at the market, at the gas station, in between. We need people to get back involved in their own communities. It's so important.
I would like to see maybe some of our car dealerships out there that maybe we could start a program with the Dads in School program with Troy Martinez, because I think it made a donation of several cars, maybe certain neighborhoods, have a car, make it like a police, but a friendly type police car with Dads to School program, where these kids can identify a car. Maybe they see a car driving by, they need some assistance to help. They can stop the driver and ask them. It's something new that I think it would be great to be added onto your program. You have a wonderful program.
Thank you.
I always say, no matter what you're doing, there's always room for improvement. You can make other things. So I think these car dealerships out there, I think a lot of them will say, you know what, I'd like to get involved with that.
Yeah, we a van to help those students that live far away get to the program. Other things, there's so much that can be done when the community responds. We're very excited that the first year we had one specific school where they reported 0 fights all year in the cafeteria this year compared to last year where they were happening weekly. So that only happens when the community stands up. So they can go to Dads in Schools, sign up. Maybe you don't want to be involved in actually being there. We need administrative help. We need people making phone calls. We need people that can donate to buy the shirts and uniforms that they wear. Even buying, let's say, a gas card for that man that travels 5 days a week back and forth to that school. Out of his own pocket, he's paying gas. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we were able to give him a gas card because a community member donated that?
Yeah, for the individuals out there that can see that we can use some help there with the Dads for School program, please reach out to them and see where you can come in, reach out into your pocket and see how we can help them out. Now, I also believe that that these schools, when I was doing a program with the Clark County School District years ago, the Justice Department gave a grant to the Clark County School District, and Jack Lazzarato, whom I'm sure you know, used to be the director of the police, Clark County Police, and he brought me on to say, Joe, we're doing a program, and the Clark County would like to have you on to do the work with the deans at J.D. Smith Middle School and Rancho High School, and they had me working. They had an office in each one of those schools. And I would talk to the deans when I would get there. They would refer the kids over to me, to my office, and I would talk to them about how I grew up from a single-parent home and how I got involved with boxing and how I stayed out of gang. I joined a gang for one day. I thought that wasn't for me. I got involved with the Boys Club. So it got me on the right track. But then I got these kids. When I was talking to these kids, I would talk to them about boxing. I said, we're having a program in downtown where there was a boxing gym there where it was called Golden Gloves Gym, and Mike Tyson used to train there, and I used to work out of there myself. So I got these kids. I got the National Guards to volunteer, transportation help to bring these kids from the schools, pick them up, bring them to the gym, and from the gym, bring them back home.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying, that there's room for improvement with your program. And there's individuals out there, whether it's car dealerships or even the National Guards, like I did when I was involved. Get them involved in this program.
We'll take all the help we can get, Joe.
You have a wonderful program, and I think we need more individuals like yourself. You're only one person, but I'm sure that all the volunteers out there, you individuals out there watching, know that what Mr. Martinez is doing is really, really a great, great program. It's much needed in all areas, not only in Las Vegas, but you're watching any place around the country, around the world. Learn it from here. Troy Martinez is doing a hell of a job. I met you up there at your church many years ago.
That's right.
When you were running your program, and I went up there. I was so impressed with what you were doing back then.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
And we've seen favor with so many students, their parents. I've seen mothers weep saying that they were so afraid for their child,
Right.
and all of a sudden they see them going in the positive direction. And so want to really thank you for not forgetting about us and all the hard work that we've been doing and making sure that the Dads in School program is getting that, again, opportunity to make sure we're protecting our own children and our own community.
It is a very great program, because I remember when I did it, when I was working with the Clark County School District, there was a kid named John Medina, and he was in a little trouble, and I got him on the right track, got him into the boxing program. Then about maybe 7, 8 years later, I got a call from him, and he said, Mr. Cortez, this is John Medina. And I said, oh, yeah, I remember you. You're the kid that you took me to your grandmother, invited me, you live with your grandmother. And you had a knife, and you showed me your room, and I saw a big hunting knife on your dresser. And I took the knife, and I put it in, and I took the knife home with me. He said, yeah, that's me. He said, I want to thank you so much, because by you getting me out of gangs and drugs, today I'm in the Marines. I'm a sergeant in the Marines.
Wow.
And I got choked up just listening to his words. Because, it means it goes to show that sometimes what we do out there in the community, helping out, you get these kids on the right track, and they become role models. And that's what you want to have out there. More kids get involved. They sort of become role models as they get older.
Give them a first chance. They will take it. They'll turn out wonderful citizens, make their family proud, and then they don't have to get in trouble and never see them go into the system, and then we have to give them a second chance. Thank God for second chances.
Second chance programs out
chance.
there. The pastor, John Ponder, has that program, the second chance here in Las Vegas, where you get criminals that already, they went the wrong way. They did the wrong thing. They ended up in jail maybe a number of years. But the program also with John Ponder, Second Chance, it's a great program, because the individuals learn a trade, they get there, they graduate, and then they get a job. They get themselves back on track. But what you're trying to do, you're giving them a first chance, which is so important. But you want to get a first chance, so you have to reach the level of going for the second chance.
Exactly.
First chance is the best one because you can live a clean life with nothing on your record, a clean record, and you got a good start where you get them while they're young. I would say, sometimes you got a tree that's growing, the tree going wrong. You can still straighten it out while it's still young. If the tree getting old, it's hard to get straighten out the tree again. But when it's young, that's what you're trying to do with your program.
Yep, and it's working. It's working. Dads in schools is working. Proof of concept is when we see violence go down, attendance is going up. A lot of kids were afraid to go to school. Teachers were afraid to go to school. Their husbands were saying, you're not going to school. I don't feel you're safe. Now we're seeing attendance going up. Teachers are feeling safe. Children are learning. And we're going to have a better workforce in Nevada because they learned while they were at school.
Yeah, well, we want the governor to get Governor Joe Lombardo. He's trying to do a lot of things, a lot of changes, and hopefully that you and him can work together and get your program to another level. Because we all can use a little extra help, and I'm sure that he's a new governor here, and I'm sure that they will be willing to give a helping hand to get your program up to where it's needed to be.
Yep, Governor Joe Lombardo's behind the program. He's going to give us a public service announcement. Others, the sheriff, the attorney general. There's so many people. They want to see these kids be safe. It's a bipartisan issue. It's not politics.
Right.
It doesn't matter what side of the aisle. When it comes to protecting, we should protect all the children so that they're safe.
Yeah, and that's what's important. We don't look at parties when it comes to dealing with kids. All the kids out there, we don't care. Like you said, we're bipartisan. We have to help everybody.
True.
Doesn't matter what color, what religion, It doesn't make, we just want to help out, making sure the kids, we want America, particularly the Nevadans, to be on the right track. We want these kids to grow up. Most of these kids that go to school here, most of them are born here. Maybe a percentage of them, maybe 10, 50% come from out of state, but most of them are born here.
True.
So we want to make sure that we keep them on the right track.
Yep, I have 11 grandchildren, all born in Las Vegas, love the school. They love going to school. Yeah. They love all the activities. They have great families that we support them. But there's other children, they don't have a dad at home. They don't maybe have enough food. And so one of the things on the weekends, our 10,000 Kids nonprofit helps provide lunches on the weekends.
You do that up at the church, right?
Yep, we do that at the church. We actually have groups that go out into these apartment complexes where there's high violence. They bring books. The books have been donated by the police department. Mm-hmm. And a police officer's child read that book. Now it's being donated to a child in one of these low-income neighborhoods, and they get a free lunch, and they learn the responsibility. It's called Mobile Library, where they check the book in on a Saturday, check it out on the next Saturday, and keep going, keep reading books, and they begin to talk to our volunteers.
Yeah, that's so important because, here in the state of Nevada, the level of the 8th grade, they're not doing too good with the reading program. So now your program like this will help them a lot to get them to get more knowledgeable about what's going on. When you're young, sometimes you have difficulty if you don't have the guidance at home. Some of our parents out there, that's why it's good that Mr. Martinez has that program going with dads in school, because that's where the dads can come in there and teach other dads as well, and go in the community, talk to them about bringing your kid, to bring them up the right way, out of gangs, out of drugs, out of alcohol. Sometimes these kids see what you're doing and they follow your footsteps. They say the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. So, you have to try to guide them in the right direction so they can end up being role models.
Absolutely. And, some of the young people that were being bullied, they'll go and sit or stand near one of our volunteers because they feel safe. Yeah. Those people that were bullying, they see those men, they don't bully because they know there's prevention through presence is what we call it. And these are young people, but when they see a grown man in uniform, this referee jersey, and they know that someone's there, just like you do in the ring, you say, you have to protect yourself, but you're there to make sure everything is fair. Yeah, I've seen you in action.
Nobody takes unnecessary punishment.
That's right.
And with that said, guys, we want to thank Troy Martinez here with dads in schools. the program, and you reach out to them. You see at the bottom of the screen the address where they can reach out to Troy Martinez, and you see his website there. And hopefully you guys will more volunteers and get more involved with our program. Thank you. God bless you, brother. And we'll catch you next time around. And your fans out there and your audience, make sure you give to the community. Take care. Protect yourselves at all times. And remember, guys, we're fair, but we're firm. Take care.